Hey guys, welcome back. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 26 of my show, but this is about Episode 24 of Season 2. Now the reason why I say that is because, as you guys remember, I did a character bio video before I did this 3-part episode. So the video I did for that one was episode 23 of my own show, but it was a character bio on the 3 new characters. Then 24 was the first part of the video, and then 25 was the second part of this 3-part episode. So this is the third and final. So this video is going to cover the third and final part of this 3-part episode. I just wanted to get that out of the way, just to clear up a little, if there was any confusion as to why. I just wanted to get that out of the way there. Anyway, now getting into it. This is History of Power Rangers Season 2, Episode 26 of my show, but this is about episode 24 of season 2. Now, and as I stated, episode 24 in the original Power Rangers second season is part 3 of the 3-part episode Ninja Encounter. So basically, this episode carries over from where the previous part left off. Now I'm just going to mention something very quickly about the previous part. I tried to make that video as quickly as I could, because the last video I did before that one, I made it a pretty much a long one because a lot happened. And in the second part of the 3-part episode I covered, like I said, not really much happened aside from the Rangers fighting the Terror Blossom and the Hadrosaurus that was brought back because of the Terror Blossom, and their friends trying to basically, at the end they were trying to escape from where they were imprisoned. They were starting to, anyway. And now I'm gonna get into the actual episode here, because if you guys remember, like I stated before in my previous video, they were trying to, the 3 ninjas that had held captive, sorry about that if you saw that. I just got a notification, so if you saw that in the video, I apologize. They were, one of them, Aiesha, was picking the lock on it to try to break out, and then she and the others managed to, and then they start dealing with the putties. And then, well, first what happens is the Rangers in their human forms are, after they defeat the Hadrosaurus permanently this time, they still technically have got to deal with the Terror Blossom monster, as was stated. So basically, they deal with the Terror Blossom, and they start fighting it, and then that's basically when Zordon tells them that they have to split up again to rescue their friends, basically. Oh, I'm just going to mention this also very quickly. This video might not, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this as long as the other ones. I'm not sure, but, because a lot of stuff doesn't, well, a lot of major stuff happens in this episode that kind of carried over from the previous 2, so I might make this one, maybe it's a tiny bit longer, but I just wanted to get off topic there since I brought it up. Anyway, continuing on with what I was saying earlier, after the Rangers had defeated the Hatchosaurus in the previous episode I covered, I'm just backtracking here because of this, because I brought up the thing with the Hatchosaurus beforehand, so, basically what happens is, after that, now, I'm just gonna get into where Bulk and Skull were for a second, because if you guys remember, in the previous 2 videos I did, they were looking after the baby and stuff, and they're technically still looking after it, and then Skull comes back with these diapers, and then we're getting for Jacob, and then basically what happens is, Bulk is telling Skull that he wants him to put it on, but Skull tells him that he doesn't want to because he got the diaper, so he should put it on. So they decide to flip a coin, and the coin lands where Bulk. The coin lands on one side, so Bulk has to be the one to basically do it. And then Skull makes a joke about there not being a better person for the job, and then basically. What happens is after that, but they, in the process of doing so, because of what happens in the episode, he starts ripping through the diapers, so they had to make an improvise. I just want to get this segment of the episode out of the way now before I forget it anyway. But anyway, so they use Skull bandana as a makeshift diaper for the baby, which is kind of stupid. I just wanted to get that segment out of the way for now. I figured I should before I forgot. Now I'm gonna get into the actual storyline with the Rangers. I just wanted to get that segment out of the way. Anyway, now getting into it, as I stated with where I left off with the Rangers, this episode carries over from where the second part of the 3-part episode left off. So if you guys remember, at the end of the second part of this 3-part episode, I talked about that I didn't actually cover because I wanted to make the second video as quick as I could. I left the part out of it, and the part that I kind of left out about it was where Aiesha was picking through the lock in order to get them free from their shackles, and then she manages to get herself and Rocky and Adam as well as Mr. Anderson free from their shackles, and then basically they start dealing with the Rangers actually before that actually happens, the Rangers are actually dealing with the Terror Blossom and stuff. What? See, no, I'm having a mental block there. I'm sorry, but they managed to get free from their chains, and then they start dealing with the putties, and then Goldar shows back up where they are, and he's wondering how they got free, and he tells them that they tell him that they're never gonna. Then Goldar, after dealing with them after they escaped, tells the putties to chain them up again, and then he tells them that they will serve Lord Zedd whether they like it or not, and they tell him that they won't. But then Goldar tells them that they don't really have much of a choice because in 1 hour this wooden serpent, because he's got this little thing that's like a sort of like a wooden statue of a snake, and he tells them that basically he's like, in 1 hour this serpent will complete its transformation into a snake and it'll you. And then after he tells them that once the wooden snake has been transformed into its real form, it'll come to them and bite them and turn them evil with its bite because of the venom of evil, basically. And then he tells the putties to chain them up better this time, and then that's basically where this segment of the episode stops. Now, by this segment of the episode, I mean the segment with them. And now I'm gonna get back into it with the Rangers, because as you guys remember, in my previous video the Rangers had just defeated the Hatchosaurus that the Terror Blossom brought back as a way to keep them occupied while it germinated its seeds. So they focus on the Terror Blossom now, and then basically they start fighting the Terror Blossom again, and then basically what happens is after that, after the Rangers continue fighting the Terror Blossom, Zedd later on makes the Terror Blossom grow by throwing his potion down to him. And then basically the Terror Blossom is like, "Ah, a present from Lord Zedd!" And then he slams the potion down on the ground, and then he's like, "That's the best fertilizer I've ever used!" And then the Rangers deal with the Terror Blossom and the Megazord. And by that point in the episode, that's when the serpent had... Now I'm going to get back to where the Rangers' three friends and their teacher were being held captive. Because by this point, the serpent had already finished its transformation. And then Adam said that he guesses that this is it. He never imagined he'd be using his talents for evil, and then basically Aiesha is telling the others, telling Adam and Rocky to be optimistic because maybe the Power Rangers will show up and save them, but Rocky tells Aiesha that as if the Power Rangers know who they are, and then Mr. Anderson is basically telling them that he's just gotta hope that Jacob is okay, which is technically true. He's under Vulcan Skull's care as babysitter, so he's kind of okay and stuff. And anyway, what happens is the serpent starts coming towards them, and then this is the segment of the episode that goes back into where the Rangers are, and they start fighting the Terror Blossom, and then later on they manage to defeat it, and then they go to where their friends are in the cave. But then by the time they show up at the cave entrance, Zedd had already sent down some putties. So basically what happens is Billy, as the Blue Ranger, goes in to rescue them and get the snake away from them. So he breaks them out of their chains, basically. And then basically what happens is, after that he deals with the snake, and then the three of them, then Rocky, Adam, and Aiesha go to help the other Rangers deal with the putties, and they start fighting them. And then Kimberly in her Pink Ranger form is telling them to aim for the Z on their chest. And then it goes back to where Billy is dealing with the snake because he's trying to wrestle it to get control of it. And after that, after the rest of the Rangers and their three allies deal with the putties, they're wondering about where the Blue Ranger is, and Aiesha tells them that he's in there still dealing with the snake. So they go inside the cave to help him with it, and he's trying to wrestle position for the snake. He's trying to get the snake off of him. And that's when Kimberly that's when Kimberly as the Pink Ranger shows up, and basically what happens is he's saying they figure that Billy doesn't have enough oxygen to breathe because of the mask and the struggle with the snake. And this is kind of the segment that plays a hand in how they find out about it, because this is going to sound kind of funny, but because he needed to breathe, because of the snake was suffocating him, and after they got it off, they had to take his helmet off so he could breathe. But in doing so, they kind of revealed his identity to the three of them. And then when Rocky sees that, he's like, Billy, and then that's when Kimberly and Tommy take their masks off, and basically that's when they figure out that they're three of the Power Rangers. And then basically Zedd gets upset basically that he lost the three ninjas and his only fighting force, and that's actually going to play a hand in all of Zedd's plots after the power transfer 2-part episode. And I'll explain what I mean by that when I get to that point. I just wanted to bring it up though. And like I said, Zedd gets upset that he lost to the Rangers again, and also, like I said, lost his own elite ninja fighting force. And then basically, then it goes into the scene where the three human allies are with the Rangers in the command center, and they're talking with Zordon, and then Rocky says that this is really freaky, and Adam agrees with them about it, and then Aiesha's telling Rocky to let the man talk. At least he thinks it's a man, which is kind of true. He is a man, but he's a person from another planet, like a sorcerer, so it's kind of the same thing. And then after that, basically, Zordon is telling their new friends that Rocky, Adam, and Aiesha, that they're the only ones to know the true identities of the Power Rangers. And it is imperative that this information remains secret. So, because if 3 people know, then, because if eventually all of them will probably know who the Rangers are, basically. And basically, I think it's because of the sake of the mission for protecting the planet, really. They gotta keep their identities secret. So Zordon tells them that Alpha did a background check on them, and that background check basically shows that they were model citizens. So in doing so, he asks that they take a solemn vow to never reveal the identities of the Rangers, and then they say that they will. Adam says that they will take the vow, and Rocky said that they will never betray them. And then Zordon tells them to basically repeat after him, and he's basically tells them, I swear upon the forces of goodness, and they repeat the same line, to never reveal the truth, to maintain the secret of the true identities of the Power Rangers. And then after that, basically, after they say that segment as well, then it goes into a scene where the Rangers are with their human allies, their 3 new friends. They go to where baby Jacob is being taken care of by Bulk and Skull, and then they say about the Rangers and stuff. And then when Mr. Henderson tells them, sees the bandana that Skull used as a makeshift diaper, he's telling Skull that they'll wash that and give it back to him, but Skull is telling them to basically, he can keep it. And then basically, after that, they mention about the Power Rangers saving them and stuff, and then Bulk inquires about the Power Rangers saving them as well, and he tells them that they would like to hear all they could about them, but Rocky, Adam, and Aiesha tell them that they don't know them, and that's basically where this, and then that's where this episode ends, on a final. And then that's basically where this episode stops. So if you guys like this video when I post it, just please give this video the real best you guys can. And I will see you guys next time for the next video. So until next time, guys, like I always tell you with this series, may the power protect you always.